Welcome to the 2013 S.C.O.R.E.S Awards, celebrating South Central Outstanding Regional Excellence in Sports, recognizing the top senior athletes from the 17 public high schools in the 10-county Barren River Area Development District. Sponsored by the Bowling Green Area Lodging Association, the Visitor and Convention Bureau, the National Corvette Museum, and other leading businesses. Also sponsored by Bowling Green Athletic Club, BB&T, Candlewood Suites, Diversified Electrical, Franklin Bank and Trust, Hampton Inn, Hilton Garden Inn, Holiday Inn Express, Leachman Buick GMC Cadillac, LHI Lighting Sales Incorporated, Overtime Sports Bar and Grill, U.S. Bank, Town Place Suites by Marriott, Wendy's of Bowling Green, and Wholesale Electric Supply.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Give you a couple seconds to wrap up pictures and find your seats. We're so glad that everybody has come out tonight to honor the high school seniors in our region for their excellence in sports and academics. As I look out, I see a lot of you that I know and a lot of you that I don't. But we're all so glad that you're here. The Bowling Green Area Lodging Association, in conjunction with Sports Masters and the Bowling Green Area Convention and Visitors Bureau, decided last year to put this event on to honor the high school seniors for their outstanding work on the field and off the field. Now I'm going to have Sam Fleener come up. He is the president of the Bowling Green Sports Masters, and we're going to get this thing going, and we're going to eat, and hopefully we're going to have some good fun tonight. So thanks, guys.
I want to welcome everybody here tonight. I think you're in for a great evening tonight. I'm Sam Fleener, head of the Sports Masters, who have had a small part in putting this on. We know the reason we're actually here for the athletes tonight. We just ask that you remember our sponsors. This is not a cheap event to put on. If it wasn't for our sponsors, we wouldn't be here tonight. So please look at them, give them your thanks. Before we go, have a little prayer, and then we will start eating. Heavenly Father, Lord, we come to you tonight grateful for this opportunity to spend time with these young athletes, Lord. We ask you to be with them as they make decisions and carry out decisions that have already been made about their future. Ask you to be with Claire tonight as she speaks, that she can inspire these young men and women, and we know in return they will inspire her to continue toward her excellence in athletics, Lord. Ask you to take this food and bless it for our body. In Christ's name, amen.
Welcome to the S.C.O.R.E.S Awards. I'm Doug Thompson with the Sporting Times. This is Brandon Phillips with ESPN Radio. How you doing, Brandon?
Doing well. Is this thing on?
Well, I tell you what, I'm excited to hear Claire Donahue speak. I know you are as well.
As am I.
Ladies and gentlemen, our guest speaker, Claire Donahue.
Hi, I'm Claire. Well, I want to start by congratulating you guys. This is obviously all about you. And you're celebrating your success and what you've been able to do, not just the past year, but the past 2 years and the past 3 and 4. And even then, not just celebrating that, but being really excited about going on to your future, whether it be competing at a college level or whether you're done competing. But, and I'm particularly excited because I feel like we have a lot in common, myself and the athletes, because I guess it was 6 years ago. 6 years ago, I was sitting basically in the same spot you all are. I was an high school athlete looking into my future, and it was actually my last 6 years have been, I guess you could say, the time that I improved the most. And there's kind of been, a lot to back that, or a lot to look at when I look at starting as a freshman in college and then going year by year. But to kind of talk about the Olympics a little bit, and the end of that, 5th year was amazing. I mean, it's really hard to describe the emotions that you go through. I dreamed of being an Olympian since I was 10 years old. I started swimming when I was 6. I was not good at 10, but I still wanted, I had that huge dream. For me, that was, looking at that moment and being able to go to the Olympics at 10 years old, thinking about how awesome it would be to be the best swimmer in the world, and that was just incredible to me. So it took a while to get there. I'm now 25, but the way swimming the way swimming works is basically you have your trials a month before the actual Olympics. So I competed in Omaha, Nebraska, and how you qualify is the top 2 in each event get to go. And when you race, that was probably, out of that entire month of being able to go to the trials, making the team, going to the Olympics, and getting a gold medal, the trials was probably my most memorable out of all of that, believe it or not. I think because it's something I had dreamed of for so long. And so when I remember with swimming, there's 8 lanes, and you have your own lane. And I was in lane 1, and I think I was going into finals, I was seated, tied for 6th. And again, top 2 get to go. So when I got up on the blocks, I was actually, I was swimming against 5 other Olympians that were already Olympians, or had already gone to the Olympics. So even though, I had that tough competition, I was still so relaxed, the most relaxed I've ever been. And I got up on the blocks, I say, take your marks, the buzzer goes off and you just go. I mean, my event is the 100 butterfly, which is a sprint event, and so you're just like going as fast as you can. And I remember thinking, trying to calm my nerves, and remember what I needed to focus on was my technique. With me, what worked for me best was thinking about my technique. So I remember just swimming, and I'm a quarter down and 3 quarters left, and I continued to think about my stroke, not looking at my competitor, just thinking about what I need to do to go fast. And so I come to the wall, halfway done, and you push off, and when you push off, you go underwater. And I can see, I'm in lane 1, so I can see all the other 7 lanes from underwater. I only think about it for a split second, because I remember I have to focus on what I need to do to go fast. And so I'm swimming and as fast as I can, and the last quarter comes, and I remember thinking that, I have to give it my all, no regrets. I just kept on saying in my head, no regrets, no regrets, no regrets. And I came into the wall a few feet away, come in and I touch, and I'm dying at this point, trying to survive, trying to finish. And I touch, and right when I touched the wall, I said that was enough. Even if I didn't make it to the Olympics, that was enough. And so I turn around and look up at the scoreboard, and it says that number 2 next to my name. And I think that moment was the moment. And I first I was in shock. I couldn't believe. I was trying to comprehend what just happened, and I turn around and I'm thinking, oh my gosh, just made the Olympic team, and I turn around to look at it again just to double check. I didn't want to get excited over nothing, and I couldn't believe it. I was hyperventilating because I was so tired. My arms were dead, but I was just so excited and just happy. I couldn't stop smiling, and it was just insane. I kept on looking up at the scoreboard. And that moment was so just incredible for me, and thinking about, how, that moment, and then looking on to being able to travel with the Olympic team. Then I got to go to the Olympics, my ultimate dream. I was okay, I made it, what do I do now? And so, but looking at goals and what I needed to do when I actually got there, and again, getting the gold medal was amazing, and to be able to see how far I had come from that 10-year-old looking up at this 24-year-old or 23-year-old that had just made the Olympic team was incredible. And there's for me, there was 3 stages in my career, and that first stage was in that 10-year-old you love the sport, and it's just exciting, and you want to do it more, and the stage where you're trying a lot of things out and trying a lot of sports out, and you like it a lot, so you're doing more, and you go to more practices. And at that point, I was doing year-round, swimming all year round, because I wanted to get better. And then the next stage, or I guess the transition to the second stage, was I remember being at a swim meet, and they have, for swimming, in one event there can be anywhere from 10 people in an event to hundreds of people in an event, depending on the largeness of the meet. And so I was at a meet, and I was looking, they posted the results. I was looking for my name. At the bottom was my name. I was at the bottom of the list, but the thing was I wasn't looking, or when I saw that, I was upset, but I instantly was thinking about things that I could do. What can I do to get better? How, if in next year I'll be in the middle if I, go to practice more, or start running, and then in 2 years I'll be maybe in the top 16, and then by when I'm 15 maybe I can be at the top. And so I was always thinking about how I could better myself, and that was the start of looking and trying to better myself and really having that passion for it and having that drive. And that was the second stage was the part where you still love it, but it's really hard. And so it was the part where you're starting to make sacrifices. And this is the part where you guys are at. Throughout high school, I was having to, get up at 4:30 in the morning to go to practice 3 days a week, and making that sacrifice of sleep to go to practice. And then sacrificing social events, and those are the kind of sacrifices I decided I needed to make to be better. And I needed to do different things, like go to morning practices and add more, swimming 9 times a week, lifting weights 3 times a week, running a track practice every single day. So even though my schedule was full, I looked at it as that's what I needed to do to go faster. And then the third stage comes up, and that was the start of my senior year. Looking at, I won my senior year, I won high school states in Tennessee, and that was, like I said, that was the year that I started to progress, because I wasn't good when I was younger, and it was a slow progression moving up further and further, and in college is really where I saw how what you put into it, you get out of it. And my freshman year, looking at again, same thing. What can I do to be better? What can I do to improve? What can I do to get faster? I remember my coach was always saying, Claire, there's going to be a point when you don't get faster. There's always that top point. And for me, I was like, no way, I can keep going. That didn't, him telling me that that I was going to plateau at some point wasn't good enough, and that wasn't good enough for me. And going into college and having so many supports with great coaches and great weight coaches and great teammates, but it wasn't just that. It was me putting in the time and me putting in the effort to be better. And there's just so many things that kind of come together. And that's in college is when I learned how important that stuff is, like just the little things, like for me, lifting weights or adding running, and looking at, always looking at how I can be better. What else can I do? All right, well, if I start eating healthier, I'll feel better at practice. So I started doing that. Looking at, obviously if I go to bed on time, I guess I'll get sleep and I'll feel better for morning practice, or I won't be tired when I'm doing a really hard set. And reminding myself that even when I didn't want to go to practice, and even when I didn't want to do certain sets that were really hard, I had to remind myself of my goals and what I really wanted to do and how far I really wanted to go. And then the cool thing about it is there's always something that I'm looking for, and that's why I'm really excited to be here tonight, to be able to look at what you guys have and what you guys are doing to get better and to improve. And my success in the Olympics didn't just come from getting the gold medal or going to the Olympics or making the Olympic team. It came from those everyday practices, those early mornings, those really hard weight sessions, running mile after mile after mile. That's what it took for me. So as you continue your journey and look towards the future, I hope that even though you don't have to get a gold medal to be successful, there's nothing wrong with working your heart out to be the best teacher you can be, or pushing yourself past your limits to be the best student you want to become, or working your hardest to be the best parent possible. There's always something you can do to improve yourself, not just in sports, but in all areas. So thank you again for having me.
Thank you, Claire. What would you do if you had a gold medal? I mean, what would you wear it every day?
Yes, I think I to say it.
Do you store your gold medal? Do you have it framed or?
I actually just keep it on my nightstand.
Really?
Yeah, I have a few, I guess, medals that I just keep there because I go to like different clinics and do different things with schools, and I like to take it with me.
So how do you spend your time these days after the Olympics? Are you still practicing swimming, working? Are you going to participate in the next Olympics?
Yeah, I'm still training here at Western, still living in Bowling Green, just training really hard. For swimming, every year, every summer, there's like another meet. So just training, and I'm going to try again in 3 years for the
That's
next
awesome.
Olympics.
I got to ask you, when you qualified for the Olympics and you brought out the WKU flag, where did you have that at? I mean, that came out of nowhere, and that was so cool because obviously WKU, it meant a lot.
Yeah, it was actually really cool because there were stands right behind the starting blocks, and some of the swimmers, or one of the swimmers that was from Nebraska was sitting in one of the seats, and he said, "Claire, do you want the flag?" I was like, "Yeah, give it to me." So, or I guess it was a big flag, WKU, and so after my interview, I held it up for a little bit, but that was cool for me to be able to represent WKU and kind of show the states of what we were about.
Yeah, that is fantastic. Well, Claire, thank you. You're going to stay up here on the stage with us.
Yeah.
You're going to be front and center. What we're going to do is start our presentations, and student athletes will come up and get their awards and take their pictures with you. So I hope you're ready for that.
Yes, yeah.
All right, so you take your spot over here. And first of all, I want to mention that this has been about a 5-month process, the S.C.O.R.E.S banquet. We really started working on it right after last year's event, and there's a lot of people that are involved in the S.C.O.R.E.S planning. Oh, okay. Here we go. Is this right, Joey? Okay. Give you that. All right. And obviously, the Bowling Green Lodging Association and the Sports Masters really did a lot of work on this. Also, we got to give special thanks to Joy Jolly, the young lady that just went across the front of the stage here, telling me what to do. And she's great at, she's done a great job. Also, Chad Cowan, I hope I pronounced it right. Chad is, he just graduated WKU. He was an intern. He's headed to Georgia for his master's, but he has done unbelievable work on this event. Chad, where are you at? Can you stand up for a second? There you are, right in front of me. And Wendy's Bain Million, he obviously took the point on a lot of this stuff, spent a lot of time, and Bain, thank you very much. We really appreciate it. So what is S.C.O.R.E.S? S.C.O.R.E.S is represented by 17 area high schools, which are behind me. And what happens is that the administration, athletic directors, coaches, ADs, they get to pick and choose a male and female athlete of the year. Everybody here is a senior. So they have that, they select that person and submit it. We accept that, and then we have 14 KHSAA sanctioned varsity sports. Within those 14 sports, the same administration, AD, coach, will submit nominees for that sport. And then there is a committee of S.C.O.R.E.S folks that will look at the nominations and then decide who is the recipient of the S.C.O.R.E.S awards. And I can tell you this year, amazing. This is our second S.C.O.R.E.S event. Last year was nice. This year was incredible. We had 4 times the amount of nominations, and it was just an incredible outpouring from the area schools, and I want to thank them for taking the time and filling out the nominations and really doing a great job. So thank you very much. And really, for those student athletes that did not get selected tonight, it was tough. There were a lot of long hours in deciding who was chosen, and when they get to that level, they're all successful. So, and these student athletes tonight, we can't, unfortunately, break down every single accolade that they have received. If we did that, we would be here until midnight, I guarantee you. We have student athletes that are governor scholars, honor roll, all state, you name it, All-Americans. I mean, we've got all different kinds of student athletes with all sorts of successes. Many of them are going to the next level. They're going to be going to play their sport at college, and some are not. It is going to be a fun night. We're looking forward to it. We're going to get started. So we're going to go through each of the sports and award them their scores trophy. And hopefully we won't keep you too long. We'll get through it. We've got about 76 of these to hand out tonight, and it's our pleasure to do that. All right, we're going to start out with the boys track and field. And the sponsor this year's event for boys track and field is the Bowling Green Athletic Club. And this year's recipient of the S.C.O.R.E.S Award is Joe Bentley from South Warren. Joe?
Right. This is not the first time in doing radio with Doug for 4 years. My mic has been cut off, and I'm sure it won't be the last either. I want to present the S.C.O.R.E.S Award for girls track and field, and this is also sponsored by Bowling Green Athletic Club. The recipient this year is South Warren's Rachel Bush.
Okay, we're going to move on to boys basketball. And this year's sponsor is the Courtyard by Marriott. And the recipient of our boys basketball S.C.O.R.E.S Award is Russellville's Jordan Kennedy. I think Jordan is not here, so Brandon, will you accept that on his behalf?
All right, I wasn't expecting that, but I'll take it. Coming up next, the S.C.O.R.E.S Award for girls basketball. The recipient this year is Russellville's Amber Sidner. Congratulations, Amber. Doug, not to be left out, you can receive, I believe, on Amber's behalf. Congratulations. Okay,
we are going to announce the Allen County Scottsville Overall Athlete of the Year. This is sponsored by Overtime Sports Bar and Grill, Taylor King, and Casey Johnston. I think Casey's here.
Okay, now we're going to present the S.C.O.R.E.S Award for boys cross country. This is being sponsored by Trax, and I want to bring up Lily and Joe Wheat, if they would, to present the award. Lily and Joe.
I'm always Joe. There's a reason for that. Okay, the boys cross country is actually from South Warren, and his name is Chris Coron.
The Girls Cross Country Award is also sponsored by Trax, so we'll keep Lily and Joe up here to present that as well.
Actually, the girls cross country is from Warren East, and it's Savannah Stone.
Now we'd like to present the S.C.O.R.E.S Award for the Barron County Athletes of the Year, and this is sponsored by BB&T. The recipients are Mason Dunbar and Allie Davis.
Okay, we have the softball S.C.O.R.E.S Award, sponsored by Doyle Baseball, TFC. And Jason, are you?
For softball, it's Catherine Downing from Bowling Green High School. For baseball, Hunter Green from Warren East.
All right, moving on, guys. We want to now present the S.C.O.R.E.S Award for the Bowling Green High Athletes of the Year, and this is sponsored by Bowling Green Athletic Club. The recipients are Ben Morrison and Tori Dillard. Okay, Ben will accept on behalf of Tori. Thanks, Ben. He does it all.
All right, moving right along, we've got the Butler County Athletes of the Year, sponsored by Town Place Suites. They are Elijah Fleener and Madeline Drake. Congratulations.
All right, now it's time for the S.C.O.R.E.S Award for the Caverna Athletes of the Year, and this year's recipients are George Boyd and Reagan Keenry. They are not here this evening. They have testing in the morning, so the academics took place first, but we will accept on their behalf.
Okay, we're going to move into a category called Fan of the Year Award. And we had a lot of nominations for this award. And the gentleman that is a recipient this evening ended up not feeling well. He was actually here for a while. But he's a person that, if you follow high school basketball, football, but primarily basketball, you see him at every single game, whether it's a boys or girls basketball game. And he's always handing out bubble gum. He's just giving it away. I mean, I've known him for 10 years now, and he just has a big bag of bubble gum. He gives it to whoever wants it, and he's always sitting in the front row. And he's a graduate of Bowling Green High School. I think he's been a fan, GG, for over 50 years. Yeah, I mean, he's a Purple through and through. And the Fan of the Year goes to Grover Jones.
Now we want to present the S.C.O.R.E.S Award. This is the Spirit Award. It's sponsored by Houchins Industries, and the recipient is Warren Central's Rebecca Rogers.
I'll go ahead and do yours, Brandon. You had one back-to-back. Edmonson County High School Athletes of the Year, sponsored by U.S. Bank. The award goes to Hunter Honeycutt and Carly Rayner, and on behalf of Carly Rayner, Lainey Meredith will accept on her behalf. Is this what I think it is right here? This is making me really nervous. This is the gold medal, isn't it? Can I look at it later? Oh my gosh, that is beautiful. I don't want to do that. I'll just hold it up like this. That's gorgeous. Look at that. Okay, I'd like to ask our next presenter to come up for the Athletes of the Year for Franklin Simpson High School, CEO of Franklin Bank and Trust, Alex Downing.
It's my pleasure to introduce the Franklin Simpson Overall Athletes of the Year, Drew Talley and Anisha Travelstead.
This is pretty cool, Doug. All right, now we want to recognize the S.C.O.R.E.S Award for football, and this is sponsored by Farmers National Bank, and this year's recipient is Monroe County's Chad Wilson.
Next, we have the Glasgow Scotties Athletes of the Year, sponsored by Alliance Corporation. They are Cameron Garman and Kelsey Greer.
We now want to present the S.C.O.R.E.S Awards for the Hart County Athletes of the Year, and this is sponsored by the American Legion. And the recipients this year are Trevor Cook and Casey Self.
This year's Greenwood High School Athletes of the Year, sponsored by Leachman Buick GMC Cadillac, goes to Tanner Thompson and Angela Adkins.
We want to again thank our sponsors: the Bowling Green Area Lodging Association, the Visitor and Convention Bureau, the National Corvette Museum, and other leading businesses.
All right, moving on, we want to give the S.C.O.R.E.S Award for the Logan County Athlete of the Year. And this year's recipients are Cy Head and Haley Mayer.
Okay, in the girls category for soccer, this year's S.C.O.R.E.S Award goes to Bowling Green's Tori Diller. On her behalf, I think that's her father right there. Yeah, so her dad's going to accept it. Thank you very much.
Okay, staying on the pitch, we're going to move to the boys' side. And the S.C.O.R.E.S Award for boys soccer this year goes to Greenwood's Needon Zukanovich.
Moving on to boys tennis. This year's S.C.O.R.E.S awards go to South Warren's Kenny Wilson.
The S.C.O.R.E.S Award for girls tennis is sponsored by Morgantown Bank, and I want to invite up Mark Emery to present this award.
Girls tennis from Butler County High School, Sierra Fields.
All right, coming up next, boys swimming. How awesome is it to get your scores from a gold medalist in swimming? That's pretty cool. This year's scores goes to, by the way, our sponsor is Beach Bend, goes to Bowling Green's Andrew Mason.
Okay, also sponsored by Beach Bend, the S.C.O.R.E.S Award for girls swimming goes to Greenwood's Elena Mueller.
Up next is girls golf, presented by Leachman Buick GMC Cadillac. This year's recipient of the S.C.O.R.E.S Award goes to South Warren's Jackie Van Meter.
Okay, now on the boys' side, the S.C.O.R.E.S Award for boys golf, which is sponsored by BGMU, goes to South Warren's Chad Krebs.
All right, coming up, Metcalfe County Athletes of the Year, sponsored by Candlewood Suites, goes to Cole Shive and Taylor McMurtry. Congratulations.
The S.C.O.R.E.S Award for bass fishing, which is sponsored by Independence Bank, I want to bring up Bob Fitch to present the award. And the recipient this year from Warren East is Kyrie Borgs.
All right, next up we have the Female Sportsmanship of the Year Award. This is a fun award, and this year's recipient happens to be a daughter of a coach and an athletic director, and I know that there are several coaches out there in the audience that have had sons or daughters that have played for them. Not the easiest thing in the world for the son or daughter, probably not the easiest thing in the world for the coach as well. But they put up a lot, they work hard, and this recipient this year has always shown great sportsmanship on and off the court. This year's goes to Taylor Tolbert of Greenwood High School.
All right, we'd now like to present the S.C.O.R.E.S Award for the Male Sportsmanship of the Year, and this is sponsored by Hilton Garden Inn. This year's recipient is Cameron Garman, Glasgow High School.
I think that's our first two-time recipient this evening. Is that right, Brandon? Okay. All right, Monroe County High School Athletes of the Year, sponsored by, well, didn't sponsor, sorry about that, read the wrong line. Anyway, this year's Athletes of the Year goes to Chad Wilson and Madison Clements.
if you guys noticed that, but Chad waited for the lady to go first, so he also gets the S.C.O.R.E.S Award for Gentleman of the Evening. Congratulations, Chad. He's a 3-time winner. We'd now like to present the S.C.O.R.E.S Award for Russellville Athletes of the Year. This is sponsored by Diversified Electrical, and the winners this year are A.K. Tisdale and Amber Sidner.
Okay, we're on to boys bowling, sponsored by Halton Company. Presenting this award is Chris Gentry.
Pleasure to announce Zach Borden, boys bowling, Bowling Green High School.
Moving on now, the S.C.O.R.E.S Award for Girls Bowling, which is presented by BKD. Ms. Tracy Madison. Is Tracy here? The winner this year is South Warren's Demi Litton.
Girls cheerleading is sponsored by General Motors. This year's recipient of the S.C.O.R.E.S Award goes to Franklin Simpson's Brianna Stevens.
Okay, the S.C.O.R.E.S Award for Boys Cheerleading, which is sponsored by General Motors, goes to Warren Central's Andreas Robinson.
Now into South Warren's Athletes of the Year, sponsored by Holiday Inn Express. This year's S.C.O.R.E.S Awards go to Kenny Wilson and Mallory Vaughn.
We now want to present the S.C.O.R.E.S Award for the Warren Central Athletes of the Year, sponsored by Wholesale Electric. The recipients are Michael Bush and Brittany Ahotz.
Michael had a successful, great 4 years of high school football as well. Fantastic quarterback. Congratulations. Okay, Warren East, Athletes of the Year, presented by the Hampton Inn. They are Hunter Green and Madison Malone.
We now would like to present the S.C.O.R.E.S Award for Volleyball, sponsored by Lost River Cave. This year's recipient is Greenwood's Samantha Mosier.
The next award is what we call the Program of the Year, and I'll just give a little explanation about this. It starts at the beginning of the school year and runs through, obviously, track and field and softball and baseball. And the way it's calculated is the schools that they get points for being in, how far they go in district play, how far they go in region play, how far they go in state play. And sometimes we know at this point who is going to win, and sometimes we don't. This year we happen to do know who's going to win this award, and the Program of the Year goes to Bowling Green High School. The next award is a very special award, and we also had several nominations for this award as well. It's the Inspiration Award, and I don't know how many of you happened to see the article that we did on Tyler Creek in last month's issue, but this is a young lady who I was introduced to just by luck. I was at the 4th Region Tournament. I was standing at the baseline, and I noticed this young lady going in for Allen County High School's basketball team. And she looked taller. She looked more mature than the other girls on the team, and she was really into the game. And obviously, you know, Bowling Green it was a championship game, and Bowling Green had really stepped out to a large lead. And I didn't notice her during the first half of the game. So I turned to a lady who was standing next to me that had a camera wrapped around her neck, and she had an ACS varsity jacket or a jacket on. And I said, who is number 25? And she said, with a big smile on her face, she said, that's my daughter. And I asked her, I said, you know, she's really good. I mean, she's fighting hard out there, but I haven't seen her. And went on to find out a little bit more. And this young lady at the age of 16, and keep in mind, up until the age of 16, she was the student athlete that, you know, was the go-to girl, the go-to person. Very successful. Everybody wanted Tyler on their team. But at the age of 16, she got diagnosed with what they call the Willebrand disease, von Willebrand disease. And it is an incurable bleeding disease like hemophilia that prevents the blood from clotting. And there's some other technical things that I won't get right. But it's a very, very tough disease, and she got that when she was 16 after months of misdiagnosis. And, you know, it's a type of disease that, you know, her mom said it's like her running in place like 24/7. She's just exhausted. And then after she was diagnosed with that, she was given another blow. She was diagnosed with POTS, which is an acronym for posterior orthostatic tachycardia syndrome, which it affects the nervous system in the body. So this girl had, you know, at the age of 16, had all this stuff thrown at her, very, very tough times, but her goal was to be on that Allen County Scottsville basketball team. She wanted to play at Diddle Arena. That was her goal. And it was risky. And Coach, Coach would put her in, asked her, do you feel okay? And she'd get a couple minutes here and maybe a minute there. But in the 4th region tournament, they made it to Diddle Arena. And in the championship game, she got to play, I believe, 4.5 minutes. She achieved her dream. And today she's working hard. I guess she's feeling very, very good. Her mom kind of keeps me up to date on her. But well-deserved in this inspirational award. And can't go to a finer young lady from Allen County, Scottsville, Tyler Creek.
I remember before that issue of the Sporting Times came out, Doug called me and shared that story of Tyler on a long drive one day, and it reminds us sometimes of all of the things, we see what happens on the court, and sometimes we see what happens in the classroom, but the adversity and the hard work and all that goes into everything, the student athletes here and those who aren't here tonight, all they put in to achieve what they achieve, it means a lot. And I remember where I was when Doug shared that story, and it's a privilege to be in your company tonight. I now have the privilege, as we start to wind down, to present the Female Coach of the Year Award. To share a few statistics or a little bit about the recipient tonight, she's a volleyball coach, Greenwood High School. She was the 2012 KHSAA Coach of the Year. She amassed 382 wins, 11 district championships, 9 region championships. She was 2011 state runner-up, and she was 2-time 4th Region Coach of the Year. She's now moved on to do some other things, but it's our privilege tonight to present the S.C.O.R.E.S Award for the Female Coach of the Year to Greenwood's Holly Whittinghill.
Can we start a rumor that you might be back? No? Okay. I'm just checking. All right, it is my pleasure to present the Male Coach of the Year. And I'll tell you, we had an unbelievable amount of nominations for Coaches of the Year. It wasn't our biggest category, but it was right up there. We have so many talented tenured coaches in the 4th region. It's amazing. We are so blessed to have such great coaches in our area. But this particular coach, his present record as the head coach is 190 and 35, and I hope I have that right, but it's impressive. 1996, he was the Courier-Journal Class 3A Coach of the Year. 2002, Kentucky All-Stars Assistant Coach. 2005, the Courier-Journal, again, Kentucky Coach of the Year. 2008, he was a Kentucky West All-Stars Head Coach. In 2011, he had the 5A State Championship team. And, you know, you might ask, well, what has he done lately? Well, 2012, had another state championship football team in Class 5A. Is 30-0, hasn't lost a game in 2 seasons. 2012 KHS ADA Outstanding Coach of the Year. 2012 NFHS Mideast Sectional National Coach of the Year. Tell you what a resume, and it's my pleasure to give the S.C.O.R.E.S Award to Bowling Green's Kevin Wallace. We are not done yet, but we are close. We have the Wendy's High School Heisman. By the way, I keep putting my hand on this gold medal thing over here. It's just unbelievable. Brandon, put it back. We also have the Wendy's Heisman right over here to my left. So if you want to get a picture with the Heisman and then the gold medal, I don't think it can get any better than that. And with Claire. But anyway, we're going to ask that the state finalists from the Wendy's High School Heisman come up first, and that is Matthew Bunnell from Glasgow High School, Elijah Fleener, Butler County High School, Kelsey Greer, Glasgow High School, and Taylor McMurtry, Metcalf County High School. And Bain, while they're up here, do you want to come up for a second and just talk about the Wendy's High School Heisman? There he is. Bain Noyan is the Senior Vice President of Marketing for Wendy's.
Just very quickly about the Wendy's High School Heisman. At the end of their junior year, seniors can nominate themselves online for the Wendy's High School Heisman. There are 3 criteria. The first is academics. They must have at least a B average through their high school career. The second is they must letter in at least one of the sanctioned high school sports, and the more sports they letter in, the more points they score in the scoring system. And the third is community service, which can be through their school, through their church, or even through communities such as a 4-H club. So all those points are tallied, and so what we recognize here in terms of the state finalists, this means that these young men and these young women are the top 10 in the state of Kentucky for academics, athletics, and community service. So they certainly deserve a round of applause. And we'll also now honor our school winners, which means that they are the top male and the top female senior scholar, athlete, citizen at the respective high schools here in the Brad District. So thank you all very much.
Okay, we're going to bring up 2 recipients at a time for the Wendy's High School Heisman. Tanner Clark from Franklin Simpson High School and Morgan Cleary from Bowling Green High School. From Warren Central High School, Tucker Cross, and from Logan County High, Devin Cross. Okay, we'll accept those awards on their behalf and get them to them. Next up, we have Ashley Dale from, I believe, Hart County, and Sierra Fields from Butler County. From Barron County High School, Jordan Gardner, and from Glasgow High School, Cameron Garman. Okay, next up we have from Warren East High School, Hunter Green, and from Monroe County High School, Michaela Grider. Next up, from Hart County is Aaron Harper, and from Allen County, Scottsville, Matthew Holder. From Glasgow High School, Ellen Howard, and from Russellville High School, Chelsea Jenkins. Next up, from Allen County High School, Taylor King, and from Warren East High School, Michaela Love. From Bowling Green High School, Brandon Pruitt, and from Warren Central High School, Melina Remick. Up next, from Greenwood High School, Christina Schaefer, and from Glasgow Christian Academy, Madison Short. From Greenwood High School, Tanner Thompson, and from Franklin Simpson High School, Anisha Travelstead. From South Warren High School, Jackie Van Meter, and from South Warren High School as well, John Wilson, Kenny Wilson. From Monroe County High School, Chad Wilson, and from Cave City, Hart County, Shelby Gilpin. Well, Claire, somebody told me a long time ago, a successful banquet is one that runs on time. We are 3.5 minutes over our target day, or target hour of 8 o'clock. I got to tell you, it has been a successful night. Look at all the folks out here. It can't get any better. Great food from dumplings, great student athletes, great parents, administrators. It's been a lot of fun. And thank you for coming out tonight, and we look forward to seeing you next year. Brandon, can't get any better than this.
We appreciate everyone being here. Thank you for having us. We look forward to seeing everyone back next year.
We want to thank Doug and Brandon. Two quick things. We want to thank Claire. We have a small gift for her. I think Claire has had her picture taken more often tonight with S.C.O.R.E.S and Heisman Awards, and she's probably had it taken with the gold medal. So we appreciate her great sportsmanship and being in all those photos. And we want to make sure somebody that worked very, very hard in this event gets her due credit. She was mentioned in the beginning, but you have no idea how much is involved in getting this event together, from invitations, phone calls, catering, decorations, the flowers on the centerpieces. One lady really stepped forward this year. Normally, Joy and other folks from the Lodging Association help us, and also Amy Carwell with the Visitor and Convention Bureau, but Amy has recently had surgery, so she could not be with us tonight. But in her absence, that meant Joy had to really step up her game, and she worked double, if not triple overtime. So on behalf of Sports Masters and Wendy's at Bowling Green, I want to say thank you so much to Joy Jolly with the Bowling Green Lodging Association.
Pull it way down, okay. Well, thanks everybody for coming. I hope everybody enjoyed themselves. I'll make it short and sweet, just a few housekeeping issues. Wanted to thank our in-kind sponsors, Sports Connection, ESPN Radio, Coca-Cola, Pepsi, print media. I'm sure I'm forgetting somebody. I'm really sorry. Also, thank you, Lily at Ryherd's, for doing the awards for the banquet. Also, Tony Rose in the back, Sam 100.7 for doing the music this evening. And photographer, your name escapes me, but thank you so much for being here. The videographers, so much goes into doing the event, and we can't do it without all the support staff around. Thank you, Dumplings, for the food again. It was great. I encourage everyone to follow our event on Facebook. It's called BRAD, which stands for Barron River Area Development District, S.C.O.R.E.S. First name Brad, last name S.C.O.R.E.S. There you can get your information on where to get your photos for the evening, where you can get DVDs of the evening, newsletters. We'll have re-air dates on there. Anything that you need to know, that's how you can contact us, or you can contact me at the email address on the screen. Flowers by Deemers. I knew I forgot somebody. And I think, Claire, are you going to stick around for a little while and let people... So maybe you can get your picture made with the gold medal or the Heisman Trophy if you'd like. But I appreciate everyone for coming, and we'll see you next year. Thanks.
We want to again thank our sponsors: the Bowling Green Area Lodging Association, the Visitor and Convention Bureau, the National Corvette Museum, and other leading businesses.